And we are back again with an ensuing session that we have right now, a series going on. NFL fantasy. Today is going to be what, sir?
Today is going to be the wide receivers. This is something that we've been kind of putting out there in the atmosphere for a while, and finally bring it to you guys. Okay,
Mike got his life
Mike,
together
I
for us,
feel
man.
pretty. Yes, sir, man. I feel pretty proud of us, man. This is our second one today, and we're gonna go ahead and knock this one out. So we picked 20 wide receivers. On most NFL teams, you're gonna have a couple good wide receivers. So we made a list of 20, the ones that we feel like, as far as fantasy, is gonna be your top 20. So we're just gonna run through these. We're not gonna 20 can kind of get pretty lengthy if we sit there and just go real detailed. So we're going to kind of rapid fire these. We'll give a little brief why we did it, and we'll kind of keep pushing.
You got it, guys. Don't forget, like and subscribe. I know it's autodromo at this point in time, but it does help us out. Share. Make sure you get the podcast out there. We are trying to grow our community just the same, and we want you guys to be involved and be a part of it. So, without
Yes,
further
sir.
ado, go ahead and get kicking. All right, folks. So number 20 rank that we have here. David, why don't you go ahead and give us a quick reasoning as to why you have AJ Green at number 20?
Okay, so I have AJ Green at number 20. My whole thinking behind this is, yes, he's been on the downslope for the last couple of years, but make no doubt about it, when healthy, he is still a good wide receiver. And then you're getting Joey B in there, just a complete overhaul of the offense. They've gotten better on paper, so that's why I picked him at 20.
That's okay. I took Jarvis Landry. 2019 ranking was 14th. He had a good season. I think they got a better offensive line. I still think he's going to have a really good season. He seems to have the best chemistry with Baker Mayfield on that offense. So I think he's still going to have a pretty solid season. The only reason he dropped from 14th to 20 for these rankings specifically was because of the fact that there's a lot more capable receivers in front of him. So onward ho.
Yes, sir.
Number
Number
19.
19. Okay, I took Robert Woods of the LA Rams. The reason why I took him here at number 19 is the Rams are pretty much decimated on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, they really don't have much option. Now, his other counterpart, Cooper Kupp, I took him earlier because I do think he's the better receiver, and I think he's more of Jared Goff's probably go-to receiver at this point. But still, Robert Woods, he's still a very capable wide receiver.
Nice. I like it. My 19 is going to be CeeDee Lamb. Spoiler alert, there's more than just one rookie on this list for me. I took CeeDee Lamb for the simple fact that, I think that even between you and I, our general thought process was, and in case it reflects from one of our earlier pods during the draft that we were live streaming, we were hoping for CeeDee Lamb in the draft over Jerry Jeudy. Not really our thoughts anymore, but at the time, instant reaction, that's where we were at. So I still think that he's on an offense that is made to flourish with Dak Prescott throwing the ball, whether it be in junk time or not. And they have a superpower offense. They can spread it out anywhere. CeeDee Lamb's basically going into a situation that's a spoiled riches. So I think that he's going to prosper
Sure.
there. That's where I'm taking it.
Also, real quick, like I don't know if anybody heard that as far as CeeDee Lamb and Stephon Diggs, I mean, they say they're crushing it down there in Dallas in practice. So very good pick there.
Nice.
So number 18, I took DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf, I mean, the guy's a monster. And with Russell Wilson coming back this year, finally getting paid, they made the offensive line a little bit better. I think we see DK Metcalf kind of break out and be the wide receiver that they thought he was going to be originally.
Nice. I have Scary Terry McLaurin at number 18. I think he got his chemistry built up, obviously, in Ohio State with Dwayne Haskins. He was 24th last year when he was just trying to make the roster. This year, he is notorious. And I think because of that, they're going to open the offense up with him a lot more. So he's my pick at 18.
Ooh, so number 17, Stephon Diggs. The reason why I took him here is, with him getting out of Minnesota, the guy probably just needed to change the scenery. He was not happy there. He did wanted to get out. Buffalo is a rising team, and honestly, we made this so long ago. I probably would have bumped him higher because if you look at the Jets and you look at everybody that opted out from the Patriots, I think his chances look a lot better, honestly, from who he's going up against.
I at 17 have Jay Jets, Justin Jefferson, rookie out of LSU. Was the leading receiver in NCAA last year, especially in receptions. I think that's going to translate quickly into a team that just got rid of Stephon Diggs. So the fact that these two ended up aligning next to each other was kind of ironic. Kirk Cousins, I don't really have much faith in the guy. But at the same time,
Neither did Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, right. I mean, he hasn't really had any breakout players, and obviously they're frustrated with that guy being in town. So that's why I don't have him higher on the list. But I still think that he's going to produce just because of all the intangibles that he brings to the table.
Okay, number 16, I got Cooper Kupp. The reason why I picked him here is because of what I said before. Don't have much options between him and Robert Woods. He's more of Jared Goff's go-to.
I have Tyler Boyd at number 16, and that is for the simple fact that, like you said, he's got JB thrown to him, and Tyler Boyd was the breakout player from last season. I'm going to guess that trend continues, considering the fact that Tyler Boyd is very similar when it comes to reliability and receptions as Justin Jefferson. And we saw how much Joe Burrow relied on him and Jamar Chase last season. So I think that's going to translate well for him in Cincinnati. He's on the upward trend.
Sounds good. All right, number 15, I picked Calvin Ridley here. You don't have much. Again, they're kind of like LA. You don't have much options on the offense side of the ball. Yes, they did pick up Hayden Hurst. It's weird because they shipped out their good tight end and they brought in another good tight end. But still, you don't. I mean, outside of the three, outside of the, Ridley, Julio Jones, and Hayden Hurst, you don't have much option, which, yes, Julio Jones is higher on the list for me anyway. So I still think Calvin Ridley is a good pick at 15.
I like it. I went with DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore at this position last year with him being at ranking 21st, that was simply because of the fact that he had an ineptitude at quarterback. And I just byproduct of the fact that they drafted no offense whatsoever this season, and he has a stable quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is a very good quarterback. He's very underrated, very unappreciated, and I do think that he's going to at least take that offense to the next level this season. And I'm not saying better than Cam Newton. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about like as opposed to where they were at last year. The consistency for Bridgewater is going to be more with the fact that Newton was down in the first two games. So that's why I had that at that position. Without further ado, let's go to 14.
Yeah, so 14 was flipped for me and Mike. I had DJ Moore here. When I made this, again, that was when they did sign Teddy B. I've said this multiple times. Even if Teddy B dinks and dunks the whole entire game, I think his wide receivers will just eat up defenses. So that's why I have him here at 14.
Love it. Yeah, that was a good one. So I took the other DJ for this one. I took DJ Chark. And I think DJ Chark was completely underrated last year. And he's going to be even better this year now that he has stability at the quarterback position, knowing he's going into the season with Gardner Minshew. He is the solid QB1. There's no competition. Gardner Minshew relied on DJ Chark. The guy had a killer season for being a young character. He's only going to keep getting better. So he should have another consistent season.
Okay,
13.
Juju Smith-Schuster. Okay, so golly, that rank is terrible on him. But no, man, I think I think this is a do or die season for him. If I'm not mistaken, either he's going to have to put up this year, or they're going to look at other options. With him practically being the more dominant player on the offensive side of the ball. You have a healthy and off of porn quarterback. So I think he's going to have a pretty good season.
So I have Cortland Sutton this year at number 13, which is an upgrade from where he was last year, just because now he has consistency at the quarterback position. He's had an offseason to get chemistry built up with Drew Lock. And let's not kid ourselves. In my opinion, he's a top 5 receiver. Nobody has been able to do what he has in the last 2 seasons with just the rotation of quarterbacks, and not decent quarterbacks. He's had crap at the quarterback
Bottom
position
of the
for the
barrel.
last garbage for the last 2
Yes.
years, and the dude has just been a breakout every season. I mean, he pretty much retired Demaryius Thomas off the team, the legend that guy is. So, yeah, it's a little bit homer for me to sit here and hype the guy up, but he is what it is. He would be a top 10 pick for me if it weren't for the fact that they are so stacked on the offense that there's just too many mouths to feed. So that's the only reason that I'm sitting here amping him up and still not giving him a top 10 position on the fantasy roster.
Okay, so I got Adam Thielen at number 12 with them shipping Stephon Diggs out and with them taking J-Jet he is still a rookie. I think Adam Thielen is going to be – he's probably going to have the most chemistry with Kirk Cousins, even though I don't have much faith in Kirk Cousins. Is more so I have more faith in Thielen as a player.
I agree. Yeah. Thielen's fantastic. He was great with Keenum. Let's not kid ourselves. Cousins hasn't had anybody flourish. So besides the running backs, because they don't trust Cousins' arm. So
Is it me or side note, is it me or is it he's that quarterback, typically quarterbacks make people better. I haven't seen him make anybody better. I mean, honestly, I just have not seen him make anybody around him better, but yet he's going to be the person to complain about his contract the most.
Well, let me put it this way. Name one person off the Washington Redskins that was like a Pro Bowl candidate that he threw to. Same thing applies for 2 players in Minnesota that were already established before he came in. And then we're sitting there looking at Adam Thielen last year being ranked number 56. Like if Kirk Cousins was worth his weight in salt, Adam Thielen, even barring injury, would have still been a top 30 guy.
Yeah.
There's just no excuse for it. I don't think Cousins is a very good quarterback, but I mean, like you said, that side note, guys, that was just pretty much pillow talk. So, I believe this is my last rookie on the list that I had. And the only reason I took Jalen Reagor at this point is because of the fact that I do believe in the other quarterback, in another quarterback, and that's Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz last year still had 4,200 yards, even through injury. And that guy took crap. He took nobody to, what was it? Yeah, first round they lost a wild card, didn't they?
Philly, yes.
Yeah, I believe they lost in Walker. Either way, though, dude, I mean, that's already a garbage division, but the Cowboys should have won that hands down, and the Eagles still came in and handed them their lunch with basically nobody. They were so injury-ridden, and the fact that they've already had their main receiver opt out, which what do they got now? I don't think they got nobody besides Reagor. So. And then Sanders. They've got Sanders for their running backs, which, I mean, he's a great running back, but you still need to have a decent wide receiver.
Ship off Alshon Jeffries?
I think he's the one that opted out, wasn't he? It's either that or injury. It's got to be one or the other.
He's either that or injury, but
this is how well equipped we come to all of our podcasts, folks. So make sure you guys follow us for great content. All right, so let's go to our number 11.
All right, so I have Cortland Sutton here. I have a little bit higher on my list because of everything that he has done, but also he didn't crack the top 10 for me because we have so much firepower on the offense in between the run game, other receivers, tight ends. He can't just sit back and throw Sutton the ball that much in the game.
For my number 11, I have Amari Cooper, and that is for the simple fact that he would be higher on this list. He was ranked he came in number 7 last year in PPR leagues. But at the same time, he's got CeeDee Lamb on the other side, and I think CeeDee Lamb's a better receiver. So I don't think it's going to take very long for Dak Prescott to realize that either. And with Dak Prescott playing in a contract year, he's going to hit his better receiver every single time. You got Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb, and Zeke Elliott. That's a painful offense to encounter every single week. And whether or not they win it, whether they win or not is irrelevant. They're still going to feed those mouths. So, all right, guys, number 10.
So I have Odell Beckham Jr. here. But from what I've seen the last couple of years between him and Landry, I mean, he commands a little bit more. And also from what I've seen over, since training camp start, I mean, he's looking, I mean, I hate to say it because I just do not like this guy. He's a diva. I mean, he's looked pretty darn good. I mean, you got to give credit when credit's due. He's looked pretty good.
Yeah, I completely disagree with you. So I think he's garbage. So my number 10 is DK Metcalf. I agree with your point earlier on that. However, I have him higher for the simple fact that he now has a full season established. He was a no-show for the first half of last season just because he was a byproduct of being a rookie in the Seattle system. But as soon as he gained chemistry with Russell Wilson, I think that he's not only the new age Doug Baldwin for that offense, but he is twice what Doug Baldwin brought to the table just because of the athletic freak he is. So he should have a monster season.
All right, I have Amari Cooper, and I have him ranked at number 9 for a reason. He would have been a little bit higher on my list if not for them drafting CeeDee Lamb. So, I got to keep it in perspective with them having CeeDee Lamb. I mean, they're not going to just treat him the way that they did last year because, again, you do have CeeDee Lamb. You do have another a good rookie in there. So that's why I have him at number 9.
I have Chris Godwin for number 9. I'm sure I'm going to get barbecued for this one, but hear me out, folks. So the only reason that I have him this low on the list, it's not discrediting anything he brings to the table. It has everything to do with who his quarterback is. Tom Brady hasn't had a top 20 receiver in fantasy in 2 years. He's getting older, man. And not only that, too, they have, 2 or 3 tight ends, which if you listen to our previous podcast that we'll post before this one, you would have heard Kyle talk about the amount of tight ends that they have on there. Cameron Brate, Gronkowski. Who's the guy from Alabama they drafted a couple seasons ago right before we did? The pick before us. I can't remember his name. So – and then also on top of that, they got Mike Evans and Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't give a crap about one receiver. Tom Brady cares about whoever's open, and he cares about moving the sticks. So if one of these guys isn't open downfield, it's going to be a check down. Tom Brady's not throwing deep. He's not going to be playing Jameis Winston ball where he has to throw to try and catch up with all of his errors. So therefore, his season is not going to be as good as it was last year. Number 8.
Okay, so I got Mike Evans at number 8. The reason why I got Mike Evans at number 8 is because of who is coming to town. Mike Evans is a very good receiver. So I have him at number 8.
I have Stephon Diggs at number 8. For a simple fact of what you impressed upon earlier, that team is really starting to flourish. We've got they didn't just draft him for no reason. Obviously, they didn't have enough faith in their receiving core last year, who actually did really good. I was sitting there looking at the stats. They scored well. Damn it. Josh Allen had 2 of them within the top 30. And then they gave up they pretty much traded the house for Stephon Diggs this season because they give up their first rounder for it. We already know what the guy brings to the table when it comes to all of his intangibles. They're not going to let this guy not eat. I mean, they're going to make sure if they knew what they were bringing on with all of his emotions, all of his diva status, same as Odell kind of deal. Well, not as bad as Odell, but just kind of Right. Yeah. Just kind of the emotional bags the guy brings on. They're going to cater the offense around this guy. So, number 7.
All right, so I got Kenny Galladay at number 7. The reason why I have Kenny Galladay here is because in Detroit, it's either going to be put up or shut up. Is either you win games where everybody's going to be fired after the season. Matthew Stafford, is as good as he is. If they don't win, I mean, it's going to be a change of guards just through and through. Also on the offense, outside of DeAndre Swift, what other options do you have? I mean, literally none. I mean, so he's pretty much the only person eating on the offense. So if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, Galladay will have a very good season this year.
I have Devontae Parker for number 7. Last season, he ended up finishing out number 6, which is almost unbelievable, especially for a guy who was such a prolific player in college. He ended up getting the Biletnikoff Award, and then he couldn't really shine in Miami. But let's not kid ourselves, who could? Especially with Adam Gase as your offensive coordinator / head coach. But yeah, I mean, he seemed to really hit it off with Ryan Fitzpatrick last year, and the fact that he has Fitzpatrick and Tua, I mean, I just don't see him not at least staying in the top 10 range. He's a great fantasy pick.
Cool. So I have Chris Godwin here at number 6. Now, again, some people might try to cook me for this. Don't care. But, hey, check this out. Listen, again, you have to give them a bump because of who is coming to town. Also, if I had to bracket a double coverage one receiver on that team, who am I going to bracket in double coverage? Mike Evans. So that leaves Chris Godwin's running free. And again, he's playing with Tom Brady, so that gives him a little bit of a bump there.
I've got A.J. Brown. That team was not good at the first half of the season last year, and he still finished out at number 10 for out of all receivers, which is unbelievable for a rookie. So the way that he burst on the scene is insane. Ryan Tannehill, I mean, we know he's going to be a starting quarterback for the next season, and I mean, potentially for the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. Was that what the contract was for? I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure about his.
So he finally has some stability there at the quarterback position. Tannehill actually did have really good receiving yards last year, very good accuracy. So I think the chemistry he built with A.J. Brown, it's just going to translate to the next season. So we'll move on.
We both have D-Hop.
Got it.
Oh, okay. So thinking okay, so I have D-Hop at number 5 because, again, change the scenery. That right there, I always give players a bump, a boost. Again, he's not playing with Billy O'Stooge. He has he has a quarterback that's not going to be under just so much stress from the moment they say hike. I believe they have a better offensive line. Kyler Murray, he can drop back, he can set, he can really get the ball out. So I think D-Hop is going to have a pretty good season this year.
Piggyback, yes.
Piggyback. Oh, same thing. Okay.
Yes.
All right, guys. Let's roll, baby. Ooh, we got Cooper Kupp higher. Okay, so I got Julio Jones. I mean, guys, let's face it, Julio Jones is a beast. I mean, he's going to be a beast as long as that motherfucker is playing, period. That's why I have him ranked so high. Between him and Ridley, yes, he's the more superior wide receiver. And Ryan, I mean, of course, he's going to look, Julio Jones's way quite a bit.
Agreed. So the only reason I took Cooper Kupp at number 4 was the guy had a very good season. And Robert Woods, I don't think the guy's sustainable. He's getting older. The guy's coming into 29. It was like his 6th year in the NFL. He was nothing in Buffalo. I mean, kind of a product of the environment at that point in time. Back when he was in Buffalo, they weren't very good. But Cooper Kupp really seems to be the go-to guy for Jared Goff, who even though Jared Goff is really a hit-and-miss quarterback, he's still a passing QB. He's a natural passer. He's going to get yards. He's going to go to his number one target. If you got Cooper Kupp this year, you're not hurting. So,
Yes, sir. All right, got Tyreek Hill. This is a contract year for Tyreek Hill. I believe this is a contract year for him. Um, you know, they're going. Come on. They're always dependent on Tyreek Hill. It is a difference when he's in the game. It's a difference when he's not in there. So if we can kind of put the clamps on him, that's good for us. But again, he's picked number 3 for a reason to me.
nice. Same thing, just basically impressing upon what you said earlier about Julio Jones. I mean, shy of Megatron, I don't think I've seen more talent at the wide receiver position in the last 20 years. So, yeah, I mean, speaks for itself. He was, even in a down year for the Falcons, he was still number 5 last year, and he had injuries. So, I'm just not concerned about it. He'll bounce back.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I got Devontae Adams. The only reason I have Devontae Adams here, not because I think he's miles ahead of the other receivers that I had on this list, is because he's the only fucking option on that offense. I mean,
Yeah.
just about outside of one running back, who else is Aaron Rodgers going to throw to? Or Jordan Love?
Yeah, and spoiler alert, he didn't make my top 20 list, and it's not because of the fact that I don't think he's got talent. It's because of the fact that you're looking for a full fantasy season, which is on average about 13 weeks. I don't think he's going to make it this year. I think they're going to end up – they did nothing to help that guy out this year, and he had one season of abuse under his belt. He had to fight through injury, and Aaron Rodgers didn't have a great year last year. But, I mean, he did enough to bail them out. As you can see by his last season ranking, even as the primary target for Aaron Rodgers, he was still number 29 in fantasy. I just don't see him being stability throughout the season. But that goes with my number 2, which is Kenny Golladay. You like the backdrop for that one?
Yes, sir. I like that. In Denver.
Yes, sir. So I think Kenny Golladay is a real deal, bro. I think he's an underappreciated player. And the fact that he's got Matt Stafford back now. I mean, he was ranked number 3 last year. So he put up number 3 fantasy points with an absolute garbage quarterback room. And I just can't see him. If Matt Stafford stays halfway healthy, which I'm going to assume he will, he's going to have a bigger season. So you want to take guesses? Who's number 1?
So we got it. Oh, hey, great minds think alike.
Yeah, they say no more.
Alike.
Michael Thomas, the best receiver in the NFL right now.
Absolutely, best receiver in the NFL. Even with a hat, a 70% Drew Brees. I mean, he's still going to be a beast. Yes, you have Sanders beside him, but Sanders is not the same Sanders that he used to be. Okay. You have Alvin Kamara, but still, it is still not the impact that Michael Thomas is going to have.
I agree. Yeah, that guy, he's going to be in a New Orleans legacy. So, I mean, he's got probably one last halfway good season with Drew Brees, but I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Would Teddy Bridgewater been 5-0 last year without Michael Thomas?
Absolutely not.
There's no way. So, yeah, I mean, the guy's incredible. I don't see that changing for the next handful of years. He's our number 1 consensus. All right, guys. So that wraps up our wide receivers pod. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, this isn't guarantees. This isn't guaranteeing you a win. Mm-hmm. This is just kind of like our back and forth toss-ups of when you're in different rounds of the draft, who you guys should consider looking to. And we kind of gave a brief idea of exactly why we ranked them where we did. So, guys, enjoy.
And hold on 1 second. I'll piggyback off this. Guys, you got to remember, we made this weeks ago, okay? We made this before training camp even started. So, we're kind of giving you old, kind of like old footage, old whatever. If I had to go back and redo it, I would have some more rookies on my on my top wide receiver list because, I mean, they've just been showing up and showing out in practice.
Yeah, this is solely not on David. This is on me. So if you guys want to barbecue somebody, make
That's kind of
sure.
on both of us.
No, this is on me, dude. Because
I take some of the blame, bro.
but I promise you guys, we won't be boxing this next upcoming one. We have tight ends on the roster next, followed by defenses. So we should have those. We should at least have the tight ends for you guys by Saturday, and the defenses no later than next Wednesday. We're going to go ahead and knock out a couple more sessions, but make sure that you do what, sir?
Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, rate, comment, all this other stuff.
You got it, guys.
All
All right, folks, enjoy. David, I'll catch you on the flip side. And this has been another Uncommon Man pod.
Yes, sir.